Lochani, Molweni, greetings. This is the opportunity for us to engage on the core subject of this module, strategy, and the process of strategy. It is interesting to notice that at the turn of the last century, Earl Nightingale presented to us what we can take forward into this century in the work that we do. He said, success is a progressive realization of a worthwhile ideal. And I believe your business is scheduled for this kind of success because you're working on it and it is a worthwhile ideal. It is worth noting that strategy begins with an idea. You work on the idea and then you look into the environment within which you are operating and conduct an environmental analysis. Within that, you will be able to develop a strategy that you can use to go into the future. You would want to be able to plan your strategy so that it fits into the world you're engaging in, but also make some choices. However, after you've made your choices, make it a point that you execute. After all, strategy is about defining your next. Execute it, follow up, and then you have a working strategy. The strategy process begins with you being clear as to why you exist, your purpose. You then look into what is important to you because that is what you value. When you've thought through those, you then ask yourself, where do you want to be? That makes it your vision. The strategy, therefore, becomes the game plan you are going to follow to ensure success. What is always important is to ensure you take some time to conduct a SWOT analysis. This is called strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I want to believe as you put together your business plan that you already have done this kind of analysis. Then you would want to be able to be clear about strategic objectives and outcomes. When you've got those and you then decide on key results, they will form your action plan. After all, over time, the business needs to be translated into a process through which you could invite others to give oversight to what you do, and that's a governance process. I want you to contemplate even now how you are going to be able to grow the business to a point where you've got advisors that work with you to build it further. The environment will have a huge influence on the results you will get. You develop your strategy, start thinking about what are going to be the core processes that will help you to succeed, what structure you need to have in place, what systems you can use in order to replace yourself and be sure that work can be done without you being there. Over time, as you grow your business, you would want to be able to ensure you've got a culture that supports your initial thought processes about your business, which then calls on you to become the leader of your enterprise. Leading the business strategically calls on you to have the ability to influence others who you have employed to voluntarily make decisions that will enhance the prospects of your business's long-term successes while maintaining short-term financial stability. This is important. As you consider how you're going to be growing your business, you may want to spend some time reflecting on what is the trend in the sector within which you operate. If it is to be that all that is there is about ensuring environmental consciousness, you will want to ensure that everyone in your team and yourself are operating in that line. What opportunities are in the marketplace that others may not have taken advantage of, or if they have not done it to your level? How are you positioned in the marketplace? You may look at yourself and say, I'm small and I'm not able to venture that much further, but your size may be the thing that makes you more nimble and easy to adjust. Are you able to align your business to what your primary customers are looking for? What are the key capabilities and competencies that your business needs to have to compete fully? Think about that and distinguish yourself. One way of conducting your environmental analysis is what is referred to as pastel. I've shifted that around and I call it steeple HD. And in a sense, it is looking into what's happening in the social space, changing lifestyles, have an impact on business. What will be the implication for your business? Technology has shifted things around. People need to have IT access. They need to have tools and platforms and build their relationships in that manner. What's the implication for business overall? What's the implication for your business? Think about what's happening in the economic space. We've gone through globalization, internationalization of businesses. The enterprise that has founded you in this manner is also responding to matters of continental and global markets. What are the implications for the business? What's the implications for you? Look at the political space. We hearing towards electioneering periods. What's happening in terms of service delivery or lack thereof? What have been the responses as a result of COVID-19? Implications for business, implications for your business. Legally speaking, you are engaging in the process that you're in right now may very well be helping the organization in terms of supplier development program. What are the implications for business overall? What are the implications for your business? When you look into the ecological space, particularly in the energy environment, it is important to look into how the reputation of the organization can be messed up by just a simple spillage or an inappropriate disposal of waste that comes from it. So think about that. Corporate social responsibility. What are the implications for business overall? Implications for your business. Health matters. Employee well-being. We used to be looking into checking up on employees. Now we check in with employees. What are the implications for you? And finally, you may want to look into the demography. Demographics have a lot to do with changing workforce profiles. At any given time, you have a minimum of 5 generations in the workspace or in the market space. What are the implications for you? What are the implications for the business? As an entrepreneur, you're looking for ways that will help you to distinguish yourself as highly flexible, agile, and capable of making a difference in the marketplace. First and foremost, of course, it's important that you are clear in terms of your purpose. You will secondly wanting to be able to make sure that you remain highly profitable. For that to happen, you've got to be thinking at least about 4 groupings. Know who you are for is what Jeff Henderson has presented, and I really believe it's useful for you. Think about society within which you operate. Think about your customer. And then think about the team you assemble around you. And finally, think about what you are looking to become as an entrepreneur. Because you're not just out there to do work, you are making a difference. As an entrepreneur, the key focus areas are going to be yourself and the society within which your business gets to function. While thinking about that, you may also want to look into how you manage your business. In managing your business, you need to keep upfront thought process around what's happening to your customer, what's their need, how are you meeting their needs, are you able to work out their specifications and operate with those? And then the team you've got, how customer conscious are they? Are they geared to delivering to meet the customer expectation and exceed them? That will set you apart in the marketplace. Preparing your organization to remain highly effective and meeting the needs of the customers and stakeholders, you want to establish what are they currently getting, what are the results your business is giving, what are the results other businesses are giving, and the gap in between is the niche you can establish. Revisit your purpose, your vision, and the values. And as you look into that, you will notice that it keeps you true into true north. Strategy is what you will develop as your game plan, supported by processes, structures, and systems. We made reference to this earlier. The organizational culture you formulate will distinguish you from everybody else. But what is really important is to ensure your paradigms, your philosophies permeate to all your customers. Chantal Elbury, working together with Clem Center, have formulated 10 key questions that I believe as a business person you want to pay attention to as well. What is the context within which you operate? Is the game in your industry changing? Where is it heading? How have you fared as a player in the industry? What is the scope? What is your playing field looking like today? How do you want to expand it? Or how would you like to shrink it in the light of the developing context and the resources that are at your disposal? Think about who are the players in your environment. Who is most advanced and likely to advance you in what you do? Who is struggling and may even retard your strategy if you were to be following after them? How should you be handling these particular players in the future? Every time you are participating in business, you need to understand the rules of the game, because you may be called offside by virtue of violating laws you were not even aware of. In the world of business, there are going to be some things you are unsure about. We call them key uncertainties that may significantly impact on how you play your game, and therefore it is important to be able to think, among others, the supply of the resources you need, inputs for your business. Key uncertainties may center around the development and the growth of your market. Have you thought about those? It becomes important that you formulate some clear scenarios. That's the high road, the low road, and the middle road. Scenarios help you to be able to gear yourself for the challenges that may be coming your way. And in that way, you get to be able to respond and be responsive in the marketplace. Finally, it is important for you to revisit the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you look inward to your strengths and your weaknesses in the light of the outward opportunities that are showing up, as well as the threats that may impact on your delivery of the services that you believe your clients are looking for. You will need to be brutally honest with yourself around the opportunities that may be showing up and the threats to those opportunities. While working on that, think about what are your business strengths, your colleagues' strengths, and weaknesses that need buttressing. So you go and hire to fill those particular weaknesses. Next, in your working through the strategic questions, you want to be looking into what options are within your span of control so that you can improve the scope of the work you deliver and the product and services you provide so that you can perform at the highest level. It becomes vital for you to then start looking at those options and make some decisions. Strategy is about taking decisions to your next. Crucial to think about that. And finally, when you define what winning is going to look like in the next year, in the next 2 years, but specifically look into the next 5 years, what will they look like? What will your business look like? It will have grown from small to medium, from medium to big. How will that happen? Can you consider doing something that is beyond your own fears as you look into repositioning yourself in the marketplace? I consider you as being a bold and brave entrepreneur. To be that means you have clarity around what it is you're going to be able to deliver to the marketplace. Over and above that, you have an unreasonable commitment to making this work. If that is your story, I believe your business will thank you in the future for the resolute position you maintain. Blake Makowski is a founder of Chick-fil-A. He said something fundamental to his staff. He said, if we provide a great service, then our customers will become the evangelist that will tell so many people about us. And that's how we can grow our business. He said this before the business could turn $1 billion. And in fact, it was happening when the competition had already put a price up there to say they will be the next $1 billion business. And when Makowski sent this message through to his staff, they changed around and then repositioned themselves as the providers of exceptional service that distinguish Chick-fil-A from all other fast food brands. Another way of looking at business is learning lessons from turnaround specialists. A.J. Leffley was the CEO and chairman of Procter & Gamble. When he took on the work of turning around a 110-year-old enterprise, he asked his leadership team to answer 5 simple questions, which I really want to encourage you to start looking at. What could be our winning aspiration? We made reference to that in the introduction. Then you need to ask, where do you want to play? Because you want to be focused and not spread all over. Then ask a very critical operational question. How can we win in the chosen marketplace? And then, what are the capabilities that we need to be able to have? And you will make reference to the same in the discussion we had in growing your business. Finally, what are the management systems that we will require in order to support us to build the business that will have reinvented itself in the marketplace? I believe if you answer these 5 questions and answer them well, you will be finding your business becoming a trendsetter. What you will notice about the 5 questions is that they're iterative. So you will find you talk to aspiration, where to play, and go back and say, if where we want to play is going to diminish our aspiration, we need to be able to revisit that. And if our aspiration is not big enough, we may want to be revisiting our playing field. How do we win? Iterating with where to play. And the next area, which has to do with capabilities, the same goes in terms of systems. It is an iterative process, and I encourage you to embark in it fully. A third approach to strategy that I want to suggest you look into, particularly in these times where disruption is the norm, is that you be the one who disrupts, or you will be disrupted in the journey you're trying to get to. Now, the introduction of the Blue Ocean Strategy framework is one that says instead of competing in the existing markets, you create your own market. Instead of being out there to beat the competition, you make the competition totally irrelevant. Instead of capturing more of the existing demand, you create a new demand altogether. And in a space where people are making a trade-off between value and cost, you say, we don't need to do that. You actually disprove this whole trade-off process because you can deliver value at the cost that speak to you. Expanding on the Blue Ocean Strategy, you look into these 2 areas. The standard way, which may very well be the Red Ocean Strategy, you compete in the existing markets, you create uncontested markets. Instead of beating the competition, you make the competition irrelevant. Instead of exploiting existing demands, you create and capture new demands. Instead of making the trade-off between value and cost, you break that trade-off. Then, finally, instead of aligning the whole systems of your organization's activities to the strategic choices of differentiation or low cost, you align the whole system so as to differentiate and produce at low cost. A crucial exercise that I would love for you to be able to enter into is to go into your marketplace and the industry within which you operate and check what are the factors that this industry is taking for granted that really should be eliminated. They're not adding value, but everybody continues to be doing it. And we then ask, what are the factors that can be reduced well before the industry standard without diminishing the value that needs to be provided? Third, you look into what are the factors that need to be raised well above the industry standard, which when done will attract new value for customers. Finally, look into what are the factors you can create that the industry currently doesn't have on offer, and it will then distinguish you and make you stand out in the business. Your chance to make that difference. Put differently, cost is what you want to be working and tackling. You eliminate the things that are costing your business without adding value to the customer. You reduce the things that are again draining the valuable elements of inputs that are not improving on the outputs. On the other side, when you look at buyer value, you want to raise the standards, raise the factors that will improve the way in which you are going to be seen in the marketplace. And at the same time, create real value. Because when the customer sees you as a value adder, they will vote for you with their wallet. There will be instances where you're finding yourself failing often. Winston Churchill placed it in this manner, that success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. I want to encourage you to stay disciplined and carry on, because you are a difference maker. Finally, going back to Oprah Winfrey, there is a statement that she makes that says, when we become thankful for what we have, we end up having more. If we concentrate on what we do not have, we will find that we will never, ever have enough. You are living in a time when opportunities are everywhere around you. Instead of being like a buzzing fly trying to knock itself out of the window, look at what opportunity may be there that may be a slightly open window, a slightly open door for you to go into and be a difference maker. I hope that this information has helped you to appreciate strategy and the value of being strategic in your work. I wish you great success.